الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our 19th session now. We are reading and reflecting on the work of the great Ottoman scholar Sa'id Nursi, who lived in the past century, and we are reading from his treatise titled A Message for the Sick or A Message for the Ill, Risalatun likulli marid. And over the past 18 sessions we have been reflecting and analyzing the counsels that he provides in this text for individuals who are suffering or who are afflicted with disease and who are trying to understand the divine wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the situation that they are facing. So inshallah today we'll be looking at the 17th remedy that he provides in this text. But before we commence with that, I just wanted to remind all of us, first and foremost myself, that we are now moving into the last 10 days of Ramadan. Depending where we are in the world, within the next 2 days, we'll be entering into these blessed days, and we all know the great importance of the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, and the main event being within the odd nights, that of Laylatul Qadr, or the night of power, arguably the most important time or pocket of time for us as Muslims, where we are able to truly benefit and to increase in our ibadah, such that the rewards of that ibadah are multiplied to an incremental amount. So it is important that we all take these last 10 days seriously, and that we are able to finish the month of Ramadan bi'idhnillah with a dedicated intensity to our ibadah, but at the same time also focusing on those aspects within our community that need to be looked at, especially issues of poverty and of food security, where there are so many people around the world in these current times who are suffering, who are not able to take care of themselves. Let us not forget about that as well when we focus on these last 10 days. The interesting thing with time is that time and time which is imbued with sanctity, it grounds people, it gives them stability, it becomes an absolute within their lives. And if you look at us as human beings in the modern era, or in this postmodern era, as some would like to describe it, one of the hallmarks is that people no longer have stability. These concepts of axioms and of moral absolutes or integrals that would hold people down within faith and would give them identity, then it in itself has seemed to have withered, and many people fluctuate, right, with the various caprices that affect them in this current age, and that causes psychological instability, such that people are not able to really respond appropriately to certain circumstances. And on a psychological front, people are very confused and they are obfuscated because there's nothing really to ground them in. And religion usually provides that stability, and within religion there are times whereby one is able to ground oneself, and it's important that we understand this month of Ramadan is an opportunity for that, and these last 10 days of the month of Ramadan are opportunities as well, especially in the evenings, where we are able to find that stability within our personal lives, within our psychological dimensions as well, such that we will be able to manage the various challenges that we face in this world. And I think it was the poet Patel who said in his poem The Second Coming, turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer, things fall apart, the center cannot hold, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world, the blood tide is loosed and everywhere, and the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best of us all lack conviction, and the worst of us are all filled with passionate intensity. And I think that just really sums up our modern condition. The fact that we are not able to find stability, that there is so much confusion, there is so much anarchy surrounding us. It causes people to really lose touch with themselves and with the divine. And so when we have these opportunities, these moments of time that have been imbued with sacredness, right? These are opportunities that we have in order to reconnect and to realign ourselves and to stabilize ourselves in a world that seems to be swinging from one side of the pendulum to the other side, with the vicissitudes of the challenges. So inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who are able to utilize these upcoming 10 days of the month of Ramadan in the best of ways, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the necessary tawfiq to actualize and implement our ibadah sincerely, and as I mentioned, not to forget the khidmah that we need to be involved in as human beings in this current time, inshallah. Focusing now on the 17th remedy, Sayyid Nursi says, O one who is sick and complaining of not being able to do good works, offer thanks in the situation, show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because illness is a blessing from Allah, such that He allows other people to benefit from your condition. Now, what he means by this is that when you are sick or you are afflicted with disease, right? People usually show you sympathy. People usually come to visit you. People usually come to ask forgiveness, and people usually come to ask for your du'as. Now, what's important with this is that you as an individual, even though that you are going through your difficulty and you are going through your period of suffering and your period of grief, the reality is that you become a means for other people to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this occurs in different ways. One of the ways is by them merely just coming to visit you. They are fulfilling a sunnah, right? A very important sunnah, which has a critical reward, if you could say that, or has a critical importance in its social dimension. Because people are coming to visit you and they are coming to check up on how you are, and that in itself expresses goodwill between people. So in that sense, by you being in a state of grief, people are able to actualize that sunnah. And then the other thing is that when people come to visit you, or when people communicate with you, people ask you for your du'as, and we know that the du'a of someone who is sick is mustajab, that they have a very high probability of being accepted compared to other people. There are certain categories of people that because of the situation that they're in, the acceptance of dua is very high, and someone who's sick is definitely one of those individuals. And then the other thing is that when you are sick, people tend to look after you, people tend to assist you, right? You become an opportunity for other people to do khidmah, and that in itself is a great act. People definitely get rewarded with that. So when you look at all these various circumstances, what you realize is that even though you as an individual are sick and are suffering, you become a nexus such that other people are able to benefit in in your circumstance, and they're able to benefit spiritually. And what this makes us realize is that we are all interconnected, right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, through His divine wisdom and through His divine workings, He allows people to be connected in the most interesting and mysterious of ways. When something positive usually happens to us, right, when there's a good event and we did not foresee it, right, we usually say, Alhamdulillah, right, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works in mysterious ways. And the same should be inculcated or understood when things happen, perhaps not in our favor, but such that other people are able to benefit. That at the end of the day, we cannot assign categories of good and evil to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Those are invalid references to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whatever acts or whatever events that occur, we should always try to understand or submit ourselves to the fact that there is khayr and benefit within them. And so here's Sayyid Nursi shows us that even within your difficulty, even within your suffering, right, there's goodness, and that goodness can be extended to other people. And the fact that other people can be saved, or that their spirituality can increase because of you, because you are that common point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used in this in this scenario, that should give you solace. And you should remember, because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also raise your rank. So it's a very interesting point that he provides in this remedy, but it's something that we should conscientize, and it's definitely something that can make our physical sufferings in illness more sweeter. So inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who are able to understand these realities. And whenever we find ourselves in a situation of difficulty, we realize that if other people can benefit in some way, especially within their spiritual dimensions, then that should be seen as something positive and not as something negative. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who are able to realize this, inshallah, and we ask Allah to provide us the best in this life and in the year after. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.